palm reading of a particular person whose age is 38, and we would be looking at his palm and taking a look at the important points. So one by one I would be telling you whatever I see important things. Before I start my video, I would request you to press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update. You can get a reading from me, you can call me, or you can email me. These are the phone number and the email that are mentioned on the screen. Now we straight away head to this particular hand image. The few important things that I find in his palm is that the mount of Venus is very prominent, and that is the area of love, beauty, energy, vitality, energy and stamina, all these things. So I will just point out that particular area. It's a very, very important area in anybody's palm. This is the area that we refer to. This particular area that I have encircled, this is the area of Mount of Venus. Mount of Venus is all about energy, stamina, vitality. So Venus being a very warm planet, it brings in warmth into this particular person. In both the hands, you would notice that this area appears to be jutting out. It is very prominent. The padding over it. So padding over it makes it more positive. So it basically signifies that the person would be full of energies. This is not the, we can't say with certainty that if a person has got a prominent Venus, it is always going to be success. It is more to do with energies. A person might fail 10 times, but still the person has the energies to do another work, basically try out once more time. So this is what is represented by a prominent Mount of Venus. So it's very positive. This is also the area of one's love life, and it plays a major role in one's love life and the energies the person is able to give to everybody. So this is the first part. The second important aspect that we see on his particular palm is on the headline, and there are few branches that are hanging downwards pointing towards the Mount of Moon. This is a rare kind of an indication. So I will just point out first, I would just point out what these lines are and then basically the meaning. This is the headline and this is the money line, and at the intersection of both these lines the age 35 is there. So this portion of the line of money is before the age of 35, and this portion of the money headline is before the age of 35. So we will be talking first about the before the age of 35. You would notice that on this particular line there are few downward kind of lines, small branches pointing towards the Mount of Moon. This is the area of Moon. Moon is a planet that changes faces every day. So there are few positive as well as negative aspects about the Moon. So having these branches point downwards towards the Mount of Moon just before the age of 35 signifies some kind of mental disappointment that might have taken place at that particular portion of time. You would also notice one thing, that the headline is changing its course. The headline is coming from here, and somewhere out here at the age of 34 it is kind of branching out into two. So there's a major change that might have taken place around the age of 35. And see, money line, people think that money line is the most important line to refer to. So everybody wants to just hear about the money line, but each and every line in a palm are important, and each and every line we can associate with the money aspect of one's palm. So don't think that when we talk about the headline, we are talking about a line that is of lesser importance. Each and every line is important. So that's the reason why I'm giving stress to the headline. Headline is the line of our thought process, and if there's a major line that is changing over, then basically it signifies major shift in a person's personalities. And because what's happening is that the line is progressing at one particular time, and then it's straight away changing its course. So a change in thought process might have taken place at that particular portion of time around the age of 34-35. You take a look at the same aspect if it is showing up in the left hand as well. Left hand is generally considered to be the hand of past. This is the passive hand. Right hand is the active hand. We don't see a similar kind of indication that we saw on the right hand. You'd also notice on the headline it appears that there are few backward kind of lines pointing towards the amount of Mars negative from the headline. It may signify that some aggression might come in this particular person's life, and that might play a spoil sport. So that's a little bit negative aspect. As far as the money line goes, in the left hand, you would notice that the money line is starting on the mount of moon. This is the area of mount of moon, and it means that the person would do better staying far away from their birthplace. It doesn't necessarily mean only staying far away from their birthplace. It could also mean help from females. It could also mean help from staying far away from your birthplace, or help from foreigners. It could also mean trading activity or service industry, or being in a foreign company, or being in a foreign land. So all these things would bring about better benefits to this particular person if they stayed away. So we were talking about the headline. In this particular case, the headline is very predictable kind of a thing. So a predictability can be seen, but in the right hand, the active hand, few changes might have taken place in his life. It could be personal, or it could be professional. It could be any kind of those changes that might have taken place. As far as the line of heart goes, now we will be talking about the heart line. Now we talk about the heart line. Heart line is the line of emotions. It is the line of sensitivity. It is regarding your love life as well. And at the same time, over a period of time, I have come to associate this line with your money aspect as well. So we will talk about the profession part first. You talk about the profession first, and then the latter part. The heart line is the line of emotion, sensitivity, and I have associated with the money aspect. So let's start with that as well. See, money, the heart line, you would notice that the heart line is ending somewhere on the mount of Saturn. This is the mount of Saturn. Saturn is the mount for money, possessions, and wealth. This is the mount of good money management. This is the mount of being responsible by nature. So generally, people who are responsible by nature and who are wise with money and wise in their actions, they have their heartline kind of end under the mount of Saturn. So that's considered to be a good sign materially, in the material aspect. I can't say about the other aspect, but materially it is a beautiful sign. People who are into business, people who it doesn't mean that they would certainly do business, but people in service also, they make good money, and people in business also, they make good amount of money. So people who target towards the money have their heartline end under the mount of Saturn. So a person can be in service, or a person can be in business. Both ways it would bring very good result. So this is a very good aspect that we see. But at the same time, it appears that the heartline is a little bit inconsistent. Like there are few branches out here, but these are small branches. There's a breakout here, so these are a little bit inconsistent. If the line was more consistent, very singular line, then it would have brought about more focus into this particular person. This can be correlated more on the left hand. You would notice these branches on the heartline. So this is kind of distraction. But the good part is in both the hands, the heartline is ending under the mount of Saturn. So it means good amount of money the person would be able to accumulate in their life because of their responsible nature. See, money line does tell about the money, but each and every line, other lines also can talk about the money. Just like the area of Venus, the area of energy and stamina, this is also the area of desire. So whenever we ask one particular question, apart from palmistry, who is going to be more successful? The answer is going to be the person has to have a desire. The desire, this is the area of material things. The Venus is the area of material things, all the area of beauty and luxuries and all these things. So a person who has got a prominent, well-padded amount of Venus, their desires are going to be much more. So they are going to be working towards it. So this is the positive aspect of the amount of Venus that is there. The other aspect regarding the heartline that we were talking about, which has these few branches over it. So this makes a person a distracting kind of a nature. and the person is not able to focus, and the person is not able to dedicate fully to a particular cause or to a relationship. So that's the reason why it is a little bit negative. As far as the career line goes, this is the sun line is called the career line. You notice in the earlier portion the line is kind of absent, and just above the heartline, this is the heartline, just above the heartline the line of sun becomes prominent. So this portion, this point where the money line appears is after the age of 53. So after the age of 53, more success is likely to come to this particular person. Although it is said that you do not, if the line is absent out here, don't think that our absent line means no career at all. Sometimes our absence of the line might mean unlimited possibilities. So absence of the line is in no way saying that you won't have a career at all. And and sometimes a person doesn't even have a very prominent kind of a sunline. As we see in the right hand, you would notice that the sunline is not so prominent as such, and it's kind of made up in small bits and pieces. So even this is this doesn't mean that everything is lost, because each and every line, each and every portion of your palm does tell something or the other about your palm. Just take a case scenario, good Venus and a heartline ending under the Mount of Saturn, and at the same time the structure of the hand is extremely good. By the structure of the hand we mean that the bone structure in the fingers and the palm and the padding on the palm. So a person who has a well structured palm signifies that the person does have a better hold over people, money and resources. So in a way, even if the lines are absent, if the lines are less, in no way it hampers a person's growth in one's life. A little bit rare kind of a line can be seen, this kind of a circular motion line that you see out here. This is called the Solomon ring, and it is known to depict that the person might have an interest in occult sciences. And this also means that even if the person doesn't do any of these occult sciences, probably in his dreams or other things, the person would be able to foresee the future. So this is that kind of a line, and it is quite a significant and a very deep and clear line, which signifies the possibilities to be good. Some people, they have got these broken kind of lines. Those are comparatively of less use than these single and a clear kind of a line. Now we take a look at one of the most important areas of the palm, that is the area of Mount of Mercury. See, Mount of Mercury is the area of your skills and calculations and communication. We don't find any significant kind of a line on the Mount of Mercury, although it appears that the person doesn't have any such line at all, just a very small kind of a line. And the area also is not so greatly significant, but yet because there are no crisscrossing lines. See, absence of the line is also as good as having a line that is present. So the good part is that the area should not have too many lines marked over it. If the area has got too many lines marked over that particular area, then the quality of that area gets destroyed. So the person doesn't have too many lines over it, and the lines that are present, they are kind of a little bit perpendicular. So in that way, it is reasonably good. There's nothing wrong with it. Although if there was a prominent line, I would have said certainly much better sign. So the lines are not present. The lines are a little bit weak. I would suggest that the person should try to sharpen his skills. Then things might become much better. So sharpening of skills, it does bring about much better benefits than if a person is just okay with their skills. So this is another important line that we find on his palm is this particular line that is running parallel to the main lifeline. This is the lifeline, and the line is running parallel. So this is the line of Mars. This is the area of Mars negative, and Mars negative is the area of anger, aggression and fire. So a line that is running parallel to the main lifeline kind of protects this particular person from difficult situations, difficult people, and and bad health as well. And it also brings in fighting spirit in this particular person, because Mars is a fighter planet. So it brings in fighting spirit, and it is kind of a armor around this particular person. And whatever negative things might have I might have told you regarding on the headline, even these lines, negative aspects do get deleted or kind of get reduced due to the Mars line. So each, it is kind of a protection from all aspects of your palm, not just generally one aspect. So this is the other aspect. Now we come back to the money line. The money line starts somewhere close to the lifeline. So this is the lifeline running close to it, so the person's own effort, and it kind of ends on the heart line, and two new lines basically develop after the age of 53. So few changes are likely to take place after the age of 53. There's also a line in the middle between the the Saturn and the sun finger, and it is the line, another palmist told me that this line brings about benefits from your education you might have taken in the past. So it has to do something related to that, and that would become a significant part of your earnings over a period of time, not right now but over a period of time. And the age on this particular person right now is going to be this intersection of the head and the head and the money line is 835. This portion is 53. This portion is 53. So the person told me the person is age 44. So in the middle is age 44, and this portion, the line is there. So out here we don't see any much changes that we see. There are not too many changes on the money line on the at around the age of 38. Just this particular portion of the headline might bring about changes, and a line of head that moves a little bit upward is considered to be good. A line that is branching downward from the headline, that is negative. So probably positive aspects might be playing out. That's the reason why the headline is moving a little bit upward. The last thing is that the head and the lifeline both are joined at the initial start for a long duration of time. It makes a person very cautious, shy, contemplating, hardworking, and the success might come somewhere in the later portion of one's life. So the person needs to be patient, and success would certainly come to this particular person in his life. And just moving back to the left hand just for a brief moment, and then I would end the video. There's a small mole on the lifeline somewhere inside the lifeline. This is a mole mole on any particular area makes that particular area significant, because this is on the mount of Mars negative. Mars negative is the area of anger, aggression, and fire, and it is also for accidents or something like that, and it's somewhere close to the lifeline. So probably something to do with fire and accident, or something to do with life, some negative aspect that might have played out. I think probably the age at which the person is, that area is already crossed. And even if the mole is present, there is a supporting line. So supporting Mars line kind of protects the person from any such dangers as well. On the right hand, you'll notice that there's a mole on the right hand on the finger of sun. Finger of sun is basically the finger for creativity, art, music, name and fame, and this is also the finger for risk-taking abilities. It can be stock market, it could be gambling, or it could be anything else, fast money, anything, and colors as well. So that area becomes significant. Any mole on any particular area makes that particular area more significant. Either we have a great interest in that particular area, or we kind of have a job related to that particular area. I would end my video out here. Before I end my video, I would just repeat few things that I repeat in almost all my videos. That is, importance of money line in terms of how much money we'll make in our life is just 15%. It is each and every line in a palm that we have to take into account to come to the final conclusion. Even the heart line, the headline, every line plays an important role. Each and every mount, Mars, Mercury, Venus, each and every mount, cumulative, they have their effect, and that's that's how we come to the conclusion. So absence of one particular sun line or so doesn't matter much, and even if the skill line is not so prominent, even that doesn't matter, because the structure of the hand as such is good. That's the reason why the person does have a hold over people, money and resources. So they are always, the hand has got few positive and few negatives. And I would end my video. I would request you to give a like if you like the video, subscribe to my channel, and do give your comments and do ask your questions down below in the comment section. Bye, take care.